Welcome back to the MíraLA Podcast. I'm your host, Arianna Lemus, and today is the last episode of season 2, and I have an incredible guest. She is a friend, she's a mentor, she's my work wife and has been for the last 2 years, Brenda Hernández. She's the founder of Con Sabor y Alma Productions and the founder of La Femme Lens. So we're going to dive a little bit into all of that and how she started her organizations and production company. But we're really just going to reflect on season 2, season 1, and just our last couple years, really.
Yeah.
But I really want to dive into like what we accomplished like this last year. So
yes.
Hey B.
Hey girl. Feels weird being on this side.
Right?
Yes.
It looks good on you though.
Oh, thank
And look
you.
at
Thank you.
our PJs for everyone
I just
watching.
want to say thank you to Bear Punch Studios for making us look great.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Mark. But yeah, this is our last episode of season 2, and
Mhm.
we're here and we have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about like how we
Yeah.
met? I don't think a lot of
shit.
people know how we met.
Okay, I'm already cursing. Where do we start? Okay, so how we met, actually it was through a casting call for was it a production company, Lunar, that I used to work with, and we were like, we need an actress and we can't
Mhm.
find her. That's a whole story on its own. The whole
Yeah.
Eyes All Over. It'll,
Yeah.
we'll tell y'all that story. It was good work takes time. But essentially we were looking for an actor and like we couldn't find like the right fit. So my friend, what is it? I think it was Edgar. He like commented on our post and was like, like all these actresses, and
Mhm.
was it my former film partner at the time? He was like, oh my god, like I think it's her, and I was just like, we were like, okay, like sure, let's like reach out and do all that, and from there we got you on the project.
Yeah.
And I was more on the producer side for that one.
Mhm.
So and doing a bunch of other like miscellaneous stuff, so I wasn't able to like work with you like one-on-one.
Right.
But from there you invited me to a trip to Colorado.
Yep. And we did the 72-hour film festival out there.
She took out like 20 something people out there. Was it crazy? Yes.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
But so memorable.
Yeah.
And I think because meeting you, we met in
Yeah.
like a professional environment. So I've always seen you as a professional,
Mhm.
right? And obviously you have your like 9 to 5, but you're super creative. And I just
Yeah.
like loved like your work ethic and just like your energy. And I
Mhm.
remember when we were out there super
Yeah.
delirious in Colorado,
Oh,
like
yeah.
mind you guys, 72-hour film festival, right?
Yeah, like 20 something degrees outside, high
Yep.
winds.
Yep. And we had what was it? Oh my god, I'm blanking on their names. What was the girls' names that we had doing interviews of the crew?
It was Musa
And
and
Danae.
Danae.
Yeah, so Musa and
yes. Shout out to
Danae.
them. They're
Yes.
great.
Shout out to them because they really is what like inspired me when I
Yeah.
like looked over at you at like I
Yeah.
don't even know, it was like 1 a.m, 2 a.m.
I think it was like 3.
Yeah, it was late and the girls were interviewing the crew just
Yeah.
like about their experience of like I have these interviews somewhere. But yeah, so I turned to you and I was like, Brenda, like I think I want to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And that was 2023.
That was 2024, early 2024.
Early 2024, that's
Yes.
right. And then we we're like, okay, like let's do a
Mhm.
podcast. We had really only done like short films, right?
Yes.
So this was a very new territory and environment for us.
Mhm.
And yeah, we just used our resources. We used what
Yeah.
we knew.
Yeah.
I had like a former girl that, helped us with the podcast and
Mhm.
we were really winging it.
Yeah, and I have to say, we really knew nothing about podcasting, nothing. And the reason
Yeah.
I want to bring that up is because, a lot of folks like will say, oh, well, I need this to create that and like this setup to, create all these things. And at the end of the day, really, it's about how determined you are and just using the resources you have and
Yeah.
figuring it out.
And that was such like a big word for us, pivoting.
Yeah.
Like last year, like
Yeah.
things would come up and we would just pivot. And
Yeah.
I think so much of like our partnership and like
Mhm.
working together has been that we have been we've gone to every like event planning, project planning with just like, this is our capacity, like this is what we can do. And I've like always really appreciated that about our relationship. And, you know, you have really helped me in terms of like the brand marketing for MíraLA and like really just helping me figure out my color palette. And, you know, starting the podcast was like out of the film festival and like filmmaking. And, you know, you also helped me with this year's film festival, which I also want to talk about too. What has been, I guess, like your side of things, you know, like meeting me, you know, in like 2023 and then like partnering together, like what can, like when people ask you like what it's been like working with me and MíraLA, like what has your experience been like?
Yeah, well, you know, like with MíraLA, like the exposure came first. Well, actually, we were at your first film festival.
Oh, that's true. That's right. You guys came as guests.
That was the first time I ever met you, and we were just like shocked by like, we were like, oh, what are we walking into? A film festival of sorts. And it was amazing. I feel like that day was just kind of like an experience of its own. But definitely like going into, I think 2023, obviously, like we knew you and like I worked with you, I would say on paper, because, you know, it's just like, oh, like getting this for the actor, like sending this, sending that, you know. And so when it came to 2024, I was really honored to be like, you know, like, hey, like, do you want to come on this trip and like AD? And I was just like, sure. And again, like AD experience very limited, so I was just like, let's just figure this out. And it was just, you know, a great learning opportunity. But not just that, I think in that hour of delusion, it was just you know, getting creative and like, oh, we can do this podcast. And for me, it was a very transitional time too, because not only was I like leaving like a production crew that I was working with for so many years, but it was just like, oh, what's next? What's next on my list? And I think at that time I still wasn't sure, because I was trying to figure out what my capacity was, what I was able to do. So in like, you know, being able to collaborate with you, like being able to, you know, take on MíraLA and being like, hey, this is your playing field, like do what you want with it. Amazing trust, because
that's true.
not just anyone, but at the same time I just feel like it was in alignment in the sense of like, hey, like you're trying to figure yourself out, like here's a space where you can do that safely. And I think together we have learned a lot of like, okay, pros and cons of like developing a podcast, the highs and the lows and the very lows, you know. So in essence, like all of it, I think it's just been a part of not just MíraLA, but our individual journeys, and like empowering each other and figuring shit out.
Yeah, I think we vibrationally came together at such a great time. And just how you've been able to like help me grow as an individual, both on screen and off screen, and just how we can work together, right? You know this about me, like I'm such a procrastinator, right? And it takes like a specific kind of person to kind of be on that same flow with me. So I've always really like appreciated about you, like you've just had so much patience with me, and like has always like, you know, corrected me if I like misspoke about something that I wasn't maybe as educated on, or grammatical errors too. Like you've always really like showed me affection and affirmed me of the things that I'm really good at, or maybe that I need to practice on. And that's what a producer does, right? You have really allowed me to like be the talent, be the host, and you've kind of taken like that producer role, you know, both for the podcast and for the film festival. So kind of transitioning into like earlier this year, into year 3, we had it at Hitcore Studios in Simi Valley, coming out of season 1 for the podcast. What was your favorite part of like producing this year's film festival?
Producing it at that capacity one was not something we really, well, that I personally like expected.
Yeah.
I think you had seen the vision before, but
Yeah.
for the team coming in to the festival, we were like, oh my God.
And also right after the fires.
Yeah, so there's that. Not only were we going into year 3 into the film festival, but also we were dealing with obviously the big damage that was created through the LA fires and how it impacted our communities and the surrounding areas too. So I think it's one of those things where this year the biggest lesson was just because you've done it before doesn't mean that the same formula is going to apply.
Yeah.
And that's a big lesson we learned this year in the sense of like, yeah, we've like Arianna had been able to do this before, with the team that you had. And this year it was different.
Yeah.
It was LA was dealing with this, and to be able to bring a film festival to the capacity that we did, it was it looked amazing, but it was a challenge.
Yeah. We'll insert the little recap right here. These past 2 years, like I'm very, very grateful for you, Brenda. Like you're so talented, and I'm so happy that I caught you at a time, that was transitional for you creatively and just really figuring out like what that platform, what that was that you wanted to create, and just knowing that we were and still are a part of each other's journey. But, these 2 years were such transformative and really setting the foundation for both of our brands and both of our platforms, so also talking about the film festival, as chaotic it was successful for what we created. After the film festival, I went through like a pretty depressive, mental health episode, and you and I are pretty open about our mental health journey. So kind of reflecting back about like that time, now that we're in hindsight, like what can you kind of like say about like all of that we're now implementing going into year 4, so we don't have to experience that excessive amount of burnout?
Yeah. So for me, my mental health journey has just been something that's been ongoing since I was very, very once I was aware of it, obviously. And leading up till now, and I'm not saying I'm much older than Arianna, but it's just like a couple years does like add up in like the life experience department. So yeah, we I can say with the MíraLA Film Festival year 3, it was successful in how it looked and how it presented, and we realized like the markets we missed, and in that situation, it you took a hit like in your mental health. Now being a couple years into like taking the extra steps into my mental health journey, I saw the signs, and I was like, I was very adamant to you, like telling you like this isn't something you need to go through by yourself. Like you don't carry that load. So what did we do for this year? We started work early. We started the work very early for year 4 because I told you, and I was very explicit. I was like, I'm not letting this shit happen to you again. Like we can't. The thing is, in creating like art, in creating these spaces, we can't sacrifice ourselves.
Correct. And
so in doing so for year 4, we started working on it very early. We also reframed things. I think the word now for this year is reframing. And it's very much so in this sense, it's like, hey, it wasn't a failure. No. It wasn't a personal failure. Right. It was, we did what we could in the time frame and the situation that we were given. And now we're more aware of like, okay, like we don't have to put ourselves through that again.
Yeah, because also to like, you know, talk about that time, we had an industry mixer at Le Pier Hotel in West Hollywood the night before the festival. And that in itself was just like a last minute added event, you know, that we decided to do. And you came up with the idea and I was absolutely for it. And again, we had never done an industry event like this, but yet we were able to secure the cast of Las Tres Sisters, Debbie Wolf, and it was incredible. We had Renee Victor, you know, the voice of Abuela from Coco. Like, she came with her daughter. Like, we had people in this industry mixer, and we produced that in like 3 weeks. Right? So there was so much happening at such like a fast speed, and I couldn't really like compartmentalize like what was happening. I just knew like things were moving, things were happening, money was coming in, then it was like stagnant, and then it just it became so overwhelming. But because I'm such a performer, like, you would never know that I was going through like massive panic attacks leading up. And even the morning of the festival, when I had to host, like, I experienced like a massive panic attack, you know. And not to get into like the details of it, it had to do with like the financial position and like needing to have X amount of dollars in the bank account and not reading contracts, you know. So it's like there's so much that goes into like coordinating and logistics, and having people on your team that are able to like be there and support you is so important. Because like I was able to calm myself down, everything financially got taken care of, and I had to show up for myself, I had to show up for my community, I had to show up for the women that I brought, and also our online audience. You know, that was like another factor to our festival this year. Like, we were streaming, you know, so it's like the show must go on. But outside of that, I think that it really taught us that what we're able to produce and the things that we're able to do, but not at the extent where it's like affecting us mentally. Because it's just not worth it, you know. And the positive thing that came out of the festival, because there's always a positive, right? Was this idea for Le Femme Lens. After the festival and just the chaos of it all, you had this idea to create an organization.
When it came to Le Femme Lens, everything happened by accident. Happy accident. So I had previously written some scripts, and I was very, you know, I was like scared to like put it out there, and I was just hesitant. But after the MíraLA Film Festival, I was just like, no, like, why are we waiting until we get the funds? Why are we waiting until everyone can like hop on board? Like, why don't we just do it? So the way I went about it was like, hey, like, let's just grab as many like femme non-binary creators, and let's have a meeting, and let's talk about potentially, you know, having this doing the script.
The script that you wrote.
A script that I wrote that, again, I was very hesitant to put out into the world, but I did, and I basically presented it, and I threw my pitch, and I was like, if you guys hop on and help me, like, I'll help you. And they were like, yeah, we want to do it. Like, yeah, sure, let's go on board, you know. And I think it kind of started from more of, you know, what can we do? What can we do with what we have?
Yeah, our resources.
And it was a happy accident because we did it. We made it happen. And again, I want to just like emphasize, it wasn't me. It was a group effort. If it wasn't for everyone hopping on board, it wouldn't have been possible. So coming off of that day, which was magical in many capacities, and a lot of people will say that, we just felt like, okay, we need this. We need these spaces. We need these spaces like majority femme and non-binary. We need these spaces to feel safer for women. And
And I also just want to
yeah.
preface too, like everyone that came on board
Yeah.
to do that one day shoot for your short
Mhm.
was there because they wanted to be there
Yeah.
and want to be a part of this community. Women that are creative
Yeah.
and want to help another woman make her vision come to life. And that, again, is a reflection
Mhm.
of the annual event that I have. My own producer was inspired by the event that she was producing to create this beautiful
Yeah.
collective. Like, I can only imagine the ripple effect that this annual event has. And this is why, like, meeting you and our
Mhm.
relationship and our connection and everything that we have just created together, but knowing that, like, there's other women around us, extended connections
Yeah.
outside of us that are also doing their own things. Like we were
Yeah.
just talking with Graciela today, with
Yeah.
Rom-Com Hotties, right? Like there's so many other creative collectives that we collaborate with, like Kiara with La Artistiada,
Mhm.
Alejandra with Central American Voices. Like we're all collectively doing our own things, but like we are together supporting each other. And with Buenos Modales, the short film, you also were in a position to create your own production company, right?
Yeah.
And like what does that mean to you?
Yeah. Well, was it Con Sabor y Alma kind of started in 2024, so before La Femlens, and I think it kind of was, you know, like I loved working in the spaces that I was in prior. I did love working on horror films, but what I came to realize was there's something I want to do more when it's like a statement, and so it was definitely more like community and societal, like impact based. So that's how Con Sabor y Alma started, and I kind of left her, just sitting there doing her thing. And I was like, when the time is right, like she will, come to the surface. And it happened with La Femlens. And La Femlens started as, the group chat. It was a group chat.
It was just a group chat, yeah.
It was just a group chat. Everyone just was on board for it. And the formula worked. The formula, like we saw it happen. And we were like, okay, when it came to La Femlens and all the things, all the activities that we have created for her, it's just like, it's all been, what does the community need?
Yeah.
What are things that we need to create this like balance and equity for all creators all around? So like now, like just seeing how it's like building, it's just like, there's different capacities to like where people are taking things, it's just like shout out to a film festival, it's just like they saw MíraLA and how it worked, and they saw like, hey, why do we have to come to LA? We can create something for the IE. And so it's, I think at the end of the day, it's about not like influencing folks to like do things, but it's more like, hey, someone created something here, we can create this like wherever they are.
100%.
And so seeing that and the growth that's happening and more women and more non-binary folk bringing that to light, it just kind of shows like, yeah, I think we're all on the same page and the same program, and good things are happening.
Yeah. I also wanted to touch base. Where's my text thread with you? Because we touched base on Buenos Modales, La Femlens, the industry mixer. Oh yeah, so with La Femlens too, and MíraLA, who's the fiscal sponsor.
Yes.
We did a collab workshop class with Apex Lighting and Gear.
Yes.
Shout out Bertha Estrada. We love her. She taught a class to, femme-led. We had some non-binary folks in there. It was about like 30 of us. And she taught, majority, grip and lighting, terminology, just history about, that specific department and lighting techniques. And that was so informative. It was so cool to see a group of majority women like learning from another woman of color, how to light and what bounces off certain, it was just so informative, so educational. And that is a continuation of what you plan to do with La Femme lens, right?
Yeah, and also, yeah, shout out to Bertha, Apex Lighting. I know she was actually one of the first sponsors for the MíraLA Film Festival
That's true.
that I reached out to, and I was so one, very exciting to like have someone just being like, yes, I want to support, I want to do this, and like it means so much to me. So shout out to her supporting women-led efforts all around. And just creating that space, it again just there's power in collaboration, there's power in bringing people together, and it's just showed us like, hey, this is possible.
Yeah, 100%. Also, we did 2 MíraLA markets.
Yes.
That was in collaboration with so many, women-owned businesses. Started our partnership with New York Life Insurance. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, the amount of things that we did this year and that we literally created from our freaking dome.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me.
Yeah. And even Nami. Like
Nami, with our live podcast event at the Football Boutique, like we've literally, aside from like the film side of things, like the community events that we've done have been so incredible. So it's just like I reflect on this year and just the past couple years with you, and I'm eternally grateful for like the impact that we've had on each other's journeys. And although we are slowly breaking up and going our own ways,
I just want to say it's not a breakup, but Arianna's taking it like a breakup. And I'll let her feel her feelings.
It feels like a break. I don't know. Like, is it a break? Are we breaking up? Like, communicate. No, just kidding. No.
Just like, tell me.
No. It's just you're doing your own thing, you have other goals that you want to achieve and you're prioritizing that. And it's now a matter of me kind of like, okay, like, this is what Brenda has shown me, like what I can do and like how I'm able to now scale my business and your business too. So it's like we've been each other's friend, we've been each other's mentors, we've been, each other's confidant. So it's a rarity, to like experience what we've been able to experience and create what we've created. And I also wanted to have Alejandra here, our little beehive pack.
Yes.
So shout out to her, we love her, and Central American Voices. And that was like another thing too, like producing MíraLA like gave you the confidence to like go out and like tell Ale like, like I'm down to produce your podcast too, so it's just like it's such a ripple effect when you're able to not only be a cheerleader for another woman, but also them be a cheerleader for you, and just helping each other. It's not competitive, it's collaborative. I could not be in my ego and be like, oh my god, like Brenda's like starting her own thing, and she like, I like, why would I do that? The whole point of MíraLA is for me to be this like inspiration and motivation for other women to know their own potential, right? And as artists, we're constantly getting inspired by other artists. It's you can't get upset when the people around you are also doing similar things, because that is actually just a direct reflection of like your own power, your own success. So if anything, if the people around you are doing similar things, like that's a mirror that you're on the right path, like you're surrounding yourself with like good people.
And also it's just like for me, again, it's just like age-wise slightly older. Like I'm not that old, but also it's just like providing, for MíraLA is like I do see like the vision, I do see the growth, and it's just doing the transition into, potentially I'm like, we can keep this in if we want to. I was like into like consulting, like rather than, and I think that for me, the way I see it is not really of like a graduation or like, oh, I'm leaving for good, but it's more of like being able to give the opportunity to femme creators and who want to figure out like, hey, what can I do too? Like what's at my capacity? How can we continue to grow?
Right.
Because keeping things to ourselves, gatekeeping, or that's just things that hinder us from growth. So in I'm kind of like in a journey of like following what community is asking of me. And I think I've grown in different capacities of like what genres I want to work on and all these things. And so I see myself for sure being part, like, yeah, having a little sprinkle here and there in the different platforms that I've worked on the past 2 years. But also being able to provide those spaces and like mentor younger folks into taking on these roles.
Yes.
Like, who's to say that you're not the next, MíraLA producer or director of the podcast?
AKA, we're looking. So if you're in search of an opportunity like this, no, yeah, 100%. I'm very excited for, what the new year is going to bring. You are going to be the MíraLA festival director. I'm really just going to focus on being a host, which is just so nice because I actually will be able to like engage with like the community that attends and be on the red carpet a little bit more. And we have Nadimi, coming on board this year, which I think is going to be an incredible asset. I mean, it's already been absolutely incredible.
Welcome to Orgasmica, a place where pleasure becomes medicine, where we speak without fear about sexuality, spirituality, and healing. I'm Virginia Novello, actress, producer, writer, tantric coach, and the creator of this space. This is a reminder that living an orgasmic life is not just about sex. Are you ready to live an orgasmic life? Because by pressing play, you already begun the journey.
Year 4, we've agreed the theme is going to be women framing the future, which is why our word for 2026 is reframe, which I love because that absolutely is the energy that we're bringing into this festival. So I guess like what goes into producing a film festival? Year 4.
Oh, damn. Lots of cold emails, lots of them. I think something that I've learned through, producing my first one, which was year 3, and now hopping into like, okay, like full like creative, like festival director, like mode, is don't be scared to reach out to those brands or those like companies or collaborators that you want to work with. Because in doing so, you're just limiting yourself and you're limiting the capacity of what could happen. I think we had so many amazing connections for this year. Like we worked with I Love Micheladas, we worked with Apex,
oh my God.
Premier America, New York Life, so many different companies, industries, and it's not to say like there's the name is what gives it the what you call it, the prestige, because that's not what we're trying to do. It's just a matter of like, hey, you believe in this vision, like why not invest in it? And
it could even be in kind, like our in kind support came from Stellar Snacks, Rock and Roll Cafe, like you said, Love Micheladas, Vita Coco, Western Bagel. Like these are all companies that maybe they couldn't monetarily support, but they still gave, the physical support, right? Like the bags, the food snacks. So I think going into this year, we just want to work with any company from like any industry that is about supporting women of color filmmakers in this industry. So if that is you, we would love to speak with you because that's essentially what we're planting seeds. We're sending the cold emails. We're connecting with brands that see the vision, that understand the mission of like what we're trying to do. And I think the more that I talk about this film festival with people, it's like you think of Sundance, like I want to be the biggest woman of color film festival. And why not me? And why not? Right? So I think you do have there is a sense of delusion that goes into producing an event of any capacity, but specifically a film festival. It's like, we want to attract a certain kind of audience. We also want to attract a certain kind of sponsor, right? So like even adjusting ourselves to position ourselves financially to be like, yeah, we're asking for $10,000. Yeah, we're asking for $5,000. Like, because we're we're at the capacity now.
Mhm.
We're at that level where it's like we want more women, we want more people that support women of
Yeah.
color filmmakers to know about the MíraLA Film Festival.
Yeah. So I think, for year 4, definitely the framing is one that it's not about the future. It's more like, and I think like, we discussed this too, like in the, it's like women, like framing the future, like we're doing that now. We're framing this now. And when it comes to the companies that we whether work with, and sometimes just individuals that want to be a part of it,
Right.
it's just a matter of like, what do you see and what do you want for the world? And it doesn't have to matter which background you're from or anything. It's just a matter of wanting that equity for women of color in the film industry. I think we continue to have that disparity, especially now in the political climate. So I think that for year 4 we see a lot of things growing. As a cinephile myself too, like we won't announce the venue yet because that's a surprise. But definitely even that has been with more intention of like creating that theater experience where folks are really dived in and are really experiencing these films to the capacity that they're meant to be seen.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull up the Hollywood Diversity Report because I think people really need to just get reminded, you know, statistically about it. Okay, so let's see here.
And I would also like to preface that the fact that like the Hollywood Diversity Report also doesn't include the indie filmmakers trying to make things happen on their own.
Yeah. So only 2.3 out of 10 theatrical film directors are people of color. Only 1.5 out of 10 theatrical film directors are women. Latinx creators and creatives remain severely underrepresented. Among the film's only 5 featured leads of the 4 Latinx writers and 4 Latinx directors in the top 200, none were women. So this is why we're doing what we're doing, because we just grew up not seeing ourselves represented. And I think when I think about you and Ale and just like all of these creatives that we're surrounded by, I'm like, we are this next generation. We are the creators that are going to inspire the generations, you know, younger than us to understand that they can take up space and that they have that autonomy to create things and to know that they can create things with their resources, with their community, and to not wait for that email and to not wait like for that opportunity. Like you have to create it.
Yeah, you have to create it. And not just that, but I would even say like once that is done, the goal really for I think any nonprofit, and I'm taking the words of an amazing nonprofit founder of Girl Gang Crazy, Mariah, I love you. But it's like the goal is at the end of the day that these spaces aren't needed, that we come to a reality that's serving everyone, and hopefully that one day we don't need MíraLA, that we don't need La Femlens. Right. But until then, here we are.
I love that. Should we get into the rapid fire questions?
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna make this kind of like fun, quick, because I know we can talk forever.
I know, exactly.
We're probably gonna still be talking after this episode. All right, so what was the toughest behind the scene moment this year, and how did we get through it?
I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
The toughest moment this year was the after effects of the festival and being attached to a financial outcome that did not happen. And for me specifically, I've really associated my like depressive, days with just me going through an ego death. Just not willing to let go of the story and feeling like not good enough, that I didn't achieve what I thought I could achieve because I had achieved it the year before. And I think ultimately giving myself grace, understanding that I do have people that support me and want to be there for me, and I need to allow them to be there for me, because I think just with like my own trauma is I tend to deal with negative experiences alone. I think because I'm so performative, and I think that has a lot to do with like just how I grew up, the pageantry side of me,
We're working
acting.
on it.
We're working on it. But it's like I don't feel safe enough to really come back to people unless I've figured out, you know, my feelings, my emotions. So I'm getting better at being unapologetically me and just letting people see the real raw, not together, not perfect side of me.
And I think also allowing yourself to see her too.
Yeah.
Burnout check. One lesson about working hard without losing yourself.
Can you answer this one?
Ooh. A lesson about working hard without losing yourself. Honestly, keep it very simple, but rest is necessary. Rest is productive. And maybe to some of us, like, it's become so normalized to just work till burnout. I think something that we've been very adamant about this year is that we need to chill. And chilling is fine.
Yeah. I also think my word for 2026 is no. No. Because also, not to get into it, but we also were a part of a project that just went completely left field, and it took so much out of us. And I think what it taught us as creatives, and, you know, let me know if I'm wrong, but when you feel completely drained from a project, from a collaborative partnership, that is your intuition. That is your sign to get yourself out of that situation. Like, nothing should be draining you so much, burning you out so much, and leaving you with like little creativity for yourself, right? I think that was like a really big burnout experience that we went through collectively.
Collectively, very emphasis on that because it was rough. Small wins. What's a little victory that we're still celebrating?
There's so many small wins, and it makes me a little emotional because it's like I'm super proud of what we've been able to accomplish. The MíraLA markets, like, they're so small, but they had such a big impact. And I think I want to transition the markets to also incorporating like filmmakers being a vendor, being able to pitch in real time. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I feel like when I think of small wins, I think of like our little markets. Like I just also, when we did not small, but Celebración de Culturas, that was like, oh my God. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely went above and beyond what we thought we were capable of, and that's amazing. Inspiring creators. What are femme and non-binary creators doing right now that gives you hope?
Showing up as they are. Whether that's put together or not, like seeing other creators online posting that video in real time, being just themselves and creating that platform, creating that online audience. Like even yesterday I posted, you know, my little Thanksgiving story, and I was like, I'm gonna post this on YouTube Shorts. I feel like I want to start implementing my Instagram stories that only are there for 20, but I'm like, this could maybe find an audience on YouTube Shorts, right? Because like Instagram is very like, there's like a, you know, a certain look, right? But YouTube Shorts, like you're kind of able to like vlog more or like share more of yourself. So I think like it's just really cool seeing creators creating their online audiences, because that like inspires me to like know that, like, especially as a filmmaker and the transition time that we're in the industry, it's like you do have to create your online audience. And I get so inspired when I see other people like just being themselves.
It's like use the tools we have. Community truth. One thing we learned about building supportive creative spaces.
I feel like you have an answer for this.
Ooh, I think specifically speaking, even like with La Femme, it's just sometimes you're not looking for it, it finds you. And when it's needed, just being able to create off of that and build together, I think that is like, it's just so cool.
It is so cool. Like, I even think supporting Ale's film that we talked about last season, Glimmer, and showing up for her and just being a friend and being a supporter and being her cheerleader, and then like her, like, you know, coming to the film festival and helping me, like, just being able to be there for each other. Like, it's, oh my gosh, it's so
TBD.
beautiful. Yeah.
Reset move. How do we reset when stress hits? I know your answer for this one.
What?
Bed rot.
I was gonna say, or smoke weed.
You know, we do things in different capacities.
Yeah, bed rotting for sure. Oh my God, I love me a good, just like being in bed and just like not avoiding, but like just being in my space and being like alone. Yeah. What about you?
I mean, we all know, a lot of people know in my life, I stay medicated in the sense of like actual, like, you know, anxiety, depressive, you know, like SSRIs. But talk to your doctors about that in like full disclosure. But yeah, just being able to take care of my mental health and talking with, you know, my therapist, my psych, and just making, I think, having my friends be aware of that and like how I handle things, and even so cute when they're all like, oh yeah, Brenda, they have some mocktails, like those little things. It's just like, it just makes so much, and like it all helps to deal with stress in a healthier manner. It's not the same for everyone. Just full disclosure, but for me it's just taking care of the mental. I want to, and obviously everybody says this at the end of the year, going to the new year, like I want to implement a kind of like workout routine, because I also know like people with ADHD need to work out because it just helps them kind of like release that like excessive energy and help me get out of my head. So I'm gonna try and implement. That's good. That's good. I'm like, I stay going to agree. We're gonna try to get back on that. Team reality. One unfiltered truth about collaborating with a team.
Oof. I feel like we kind of like mentioned earlier, but a big part of our partnership is not taking things personal. I mean, you know this just from working with me. I'm very passionate, and sometimes like I have my moments where I'm a little too passionate, but it's never out of ego, or it never came from a place of like, you know, needing to make a specific point. It was just more so like, you know, I just maybe said things with like a certain tone, but you knew that it like that's not who I am. Like that was just like a moment. And I think what I'm so appreciative is like you've never let that like affect our relationship and everything that we've created together. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think when you work with teams, like especially in media, you know, like everybody has like how they present themselves in person and how they present themselves on camera, but you get to see kind of like all the sides to a person. And I think giving people grace, and you've given that to me, you know, so
and I think like just being comfortable too with like your collaborators, your friends, and like also, you know, checking.
Yes, which I mentioned, and you've absolutely checked me of like, oh, I don't think I would have said it that way. Or have you considered?
It's just like, you know, it's like we're all learning here, and I think that holding accountability is like matters. And we're never gonna get everything right. I've even checked myself. Things can get carried away, and that's you know, human. And it's just like a matter of being like, hey, maybe not that way. Yeah, and like just having that transparency and everything. So I know we're wrapping up on time. I think we're already past time, but I guess let's just wrap it up with this one. Quick tip for someone starting their own creative community.
There's so much to say, but I think what's coming up for me is making sure that the validation that you are seeking outside of you is the validation that you're giving yourself internally. I hope that makes sense, in the sense of like, yes, you want to have a community. You want to bring people together. But that shouldn't be the reason that validates you. It should just be an extension that you have this superpower to bring people together for a screener or for like a community event. But you show up for you.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily show up for the community. It's just like they're an extension of that love that you created. So I think whether it's 5 people that show up or 50 people or 500, the people that are meant to be at that event or that community social, like those are your people.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would say.
I would say a quick tip. Mine would be, and again, like we all like experience things a little bit differently. And to me, it would be kind of like when it comes to community, yes, it starts with us, like individually. But at the end of the day, it's not about you. And I mean that in the sense of like, if the purpose of going into like doing community service and creating these spaces, like if your only motivation is yourself, like we need to go beyond it, because we're not trying to just create one spot at the table. We're trying to create multiple.
That's true. And I love how it's similar and different our answers, right? Because I'm coming at it from a sense of like, make sure that like you are creating these social events
and taking care of yourself.
But what you're saying is like, sometimes you got to get out of your head and know that like you're doing these things for the greater good.
Yes.
So I love that. That was cute. That was great. I want to highlight our sponsors this season because they were pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And that was another thing we didn't really get to touch on, like our sponsors, but we have here Empowered with Gina. Love her. We got to use her space.
Yeah, so shout out to Empowered with Gina and ZA Lawyers, because y'all really welcomed us in and made my girl cry over here.
Yes. We also have 9 Glow, the founder, Natalie Aguilar. So grateful she gave all of our guests this season the pre-workout anti-pollution serum, which, have you used it yet?
I am starting my marathon training cycle, so I will be soon.
Yes.
And I'll be updating y'all.
Yeah. Okay. I've been using it since she gave it to me. Genuinely every morning, and I've seen a difference. So I was on my cycle and I was breaking out, so that kills the bacteria, and I swear within like a couple days my breakouts like went down. Like, so I don't know, guys, I'm very thankful for her, and it really works. We also have Latina Hustle.
Yes, mi tocaya. Shout out Dr. Brenda.
Such a cute bag. I got a shirt, and then all of our MíraLA listeners got a discount. So super thankful for her. And last but not least, we also had Cactus Foods. Again, all Latina owned businesses.
Yeah, and to even like the ones that maybe weren't even Latino. Like, I was like, shout out to, Bear Punch Studios.
Yes, Bear Punch Studios.
We're here today. And just creating the spaces for us to come in and, the accessibility of it all. And even for me to be able to sit on this chair, because usually I'm behind the camera. So thank you so much for, all the sponsors for believing in this like podcast and this project. And I'm excited to see what season 3 looks like.
I don't even know, but I don't know.
We don't know, but I will be there in a different capacity, but it'll be really fun to see like who takes the reins.
Yeah. So I think as we kind of conclude this episode, we just want to encourage everyone to, listen to season 1 if you haven't already, season 2, of course, because we need subscribers, we need people to download our episodes and to share. So if, this episode inspired you and you think that another creative can get some kind of inspiration out of this episode, please share it with them. And we hope that you guys follow the MíraLA Podcast, the MíraLA Film Fest. We will see you soon on season 3. Bye.